Welcome back to India Tonight. We're talking about what the Prime Minister knew or didn't know, did or didn't do about the 2G scam. Renuka, Chaudhary, there's one other area where it said that the Prime Minister had been tipped off by A. Raja about what he was doing, but didn't raise any questions. In his letter to the Prime Minister of December the 26th, 2007, Raja informed the PM that he intended to implement first come, first serve, not in terms of the date of application, which was till then the conventional way of doing it, but in terms of a new criteria he had devised, letters of intent. And once again, the Prime Minister neither objected nor raised any questions. Do you think that was an error, or do you think people are being wrong in saying it's a mistake?
Cousin, I think till the full facts come in front of us, we shouldn't really speculate on all this, because there are lots of things we know, and there are even more lots of things that we don't know.
That sounds so much like
whether they were letters, whether they were annexures, whether they were put up, or whether they were not put up. And so this is all basically speculation, and I don't think we should go into that. It's the courts are seized with the matter,
okay,
and the truth will prevail at some point. So I don't think it's in the rightness of being that we comment on these issues, okay, based on assumptions.
I accept your point that this is only speculation, but then so much of questioning is based upon speculation, which in turn is based upon very credible hints or assumptions or events that have happened. So let me carry on in this instance to speculate and put this to you, Mr. Tulsi. Once again, I'm going to quote Montek Singh Ahluwalia in alleged defense of the Prime Minister. He says, what the Prime Minister would have been told is that Raja is following the established policy, except where some change is necessary, and this has the approval of the Solicitor General. And then Ahluwalia adds, I think when you are faced with that, to micromanage the decision is going a little too far. Would you accept that that is a credible explanation, or do you think it doesn't convince you?
No. I think Mr. Ahluwalia is spot on. You see, Dr. Swamy has also been a minister. All that I would say is that in every decision that the government takes, there are any number of complaints. And whenever there are complaints by the competitors, those who lose out, normally they are either examined superficially at some level by the vigilance or etc., but no action, no serious note is taken. If you start taking note of the objections of the competitors, no action, no decision will get taken. And only when the matter, when the complaints grew bigger, then the FIR was registered, the inquiry was ordered by the CBI. And it is only much later that the CBI discovered the quid pro quo of 214 crore, which is what alarmed the Prime Minister, and action was taken.
Okay.
Therefore, the question really is that merely on the complaints of the then competitors, you couldn't expect the Prime Minister to stall the decision.
All right. Let me then try and get from your overview of the many different questions we've asked about the Prime Minister's behavior, whether they're to do with objecting or not objecting to the auction, objecting or not objecting to the change of the cut-off date, objecting or not objecting to the manner in which first come, first serve was implemented. What does all of this add up to?
Well, first of all, you see, there is lots of confusion that has been created. I have tried to clear it up in my book, which I think Renuka should read to know that
this is a book on the 2G spectrum.
Yes, it's only on the 2G spectrum. Now the thing is that there has the licenses were given, whatever means. They were then sold to foreign companies at 8 times the price. So if Mr. Tulsi's point is correct, that this is to, the low price was to enable you to have low price.
But move away from that. Just tell me, what does all of this amount to in the case of the Prime Minister acting or not acting?
As far as the Prime Minister is concerned, there can be no way you can prove anything against him criminally.
So this is just journalists being speculative?
No, he's a soft target, and so everybody attacks him.
So we're picking on him in a sense?
They are picking on him, and they want him to clear the way for somebody else.
So this program is also guilty of picking on Dr.
Well, if you take a side, yes, but so far you have got 2 people on either side.
The astonishing thing is that I have here in studio Subramainan, Swamy, who everyone thinks of as a man who is at the very key of the 2G spectrum spam investigation. credibly defending the Prime Minister.
Yes, I defend the Prime Minister. Also in the Supreme Court, I have defended him.
Let me put this to you. The key question, and give me a quick answer, Ashok Malik, is does this suggest that if the PM had acted differently, the 2G scam could have been averted, or is that an over-interpretation?
Look, he could have asked harder questions and asked rather why he was doing what he was doing. But frankly, it's pretty clear he didn't ask those questions, not because he's a criminal man, he's a good man, but because Dr. Manmohan Singh is essentially a weak Prime Minister and a weak politician. And this was an ally going rampant.
But is his weakness responsible for letting a scam happen, even if he didn't intend that to be the outcome?
I would guess so. You can't charge. He's not guilty in court, or hardly likely to be found guilty in court. But politically, he will answer. He will
not guilty in court of a crime, but politically guilty. If guilty is the right word, of a lapse.
Yes, culpable perhaps is a better word.
Culpable, but culpable is usually associated with crime.
Okay, fair enough.
A lapse,
certainly.
Bad judgment.
Bad judgment.
It will be like Bhishmacharya watching Draupadi being stripped.
Well, when you speak in Mahabharata terms, I have to let you have the last word. There is no contesting that. My thanks to Ashok Malik and Subramainan Swamy for coming to studio. My thanks also to KTS Tulsi for joining us from his chambers, and of course to Renuka Chaudhary for joining us from her residence. You have been. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.